minute. Hold on, man.
Right. So they had to try to defeat the prophet's reputation. Look at the words they use. Look at what they said to Pastor Barrett. Look at what they said on television. It is a possible pyramid scheme. They didn't say it was in fact that. They didn't really know what it was. They could have dealt with a pyramid. What was it? See? Force them to show their hand. Some believe, look at the words in the press, some believe it to be a pyramid scheme. T.L. Barrett believes it to be an economic development plan. Well, then let's pit our two beliefs together, either in the world or in a court of law. Because if we believe it's an economic development plan, then prove it. And if they believe it's a scheme, then let them prove it. We ain't got a damn thing to prove to rich people except that we're poor and trying to get the hell out of it. What do we have to prove to them? Did you ever ask the Chinese how they built Chinatown? How many of you talk to the Chinese? Mr. Wong, how did you get so many Chinese restaurants in the black community? Was it a business loan from the government? You didn't ask that, did you? Did you? The Koreans just got here a few days ago. Did you ever ask the Koreans? Mr. Korean, sir, how did you get so many businesses in the black community so fast and just got here yesterday? Did you ask them? The Palestinian refugees, the Lebanese, the people of the Middle East whose area is torn up with war and devastation, and they arrive in America penniless. Did you ever ask them, brother Palestinian, how did you get so many stores in the black community and just got here yesterday? The reason you don't know is because they're not on television. Didn't you hear the old rap, the revolution will not be televised? The Chinese are not trying to get on Channel 2 telling you how they built up Chinatown. You don't find the Cubans coming on TV. Hi, y'all. My name is Salvador Sanchez. I am a man that just came from Cuba. The communist Fidel Castro drove me out, but thanks to God, I have $20 million now. And I want to show all of you silly people how I got it out of your pocket. You don't hear from the Cubans. You don't hear from the Haitians. You don't hear from the Vietnamese. You don't hear from the Palestinians. You don't hear from nobody who comes to America and networks their money. Go ahead. They got a network going. Have you ever asked the Greeks, how come the Greeks own all these restaurants in every major city in America? Have you ever said anything to anybody? You ain't under any obligation to tell your enemy what you are doing to get the hell out from under his yoke.
All right, family. Assalamu alaikum, family. Greetings to everyone. This is your brother Supreme Makes with another broadcast with our Thursday night broadcast, and we do have a special host on the line with us who will be on the call very shortly, and we're going to go over some things. My brother, student minister, pioneer, OG as we would call him in the Nation of Islam, Nation of Islam, a long time helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he has blessed us with his presence to lend his voice to our broadcast, and we're going to go into separation and independence, and Allah God makes all things new. Now, y'all know, for our money family, we're here to enlighten the masses about the signs of money business in warfare in a mathematical, scientific, and systematic way that everyone can understand. We provide a system that builds wealth and leverage for the average person through network and affiliate marketing. We are introducing to the world the future of money, which is gold in currency form, physical and digital, family. For money is a brand for the people, and this is the broadcast where we go into the reason on why the Nation of Islam preach separation and death, why we are so the only voice in the land that's talking about separation from our enemy. And this has been the Nation of Islam solution, our stance for 90 years, right? This has been it. We don't want segregation. We don't want integration. We want total separation from our enemy. This is the only solution, and this platform is to bring that to an economic level, because once we can get some economic stability in the black community, family, we can finally experience freedom, justice, and equality, and then we can be independent. So separation comes first and then independent. As long as the white man is sheltering us, clothing us, supplying the currency for us, giving us the jobs, family, we will never be independent under that. So let's get into the Muslim program before we get into the meat of this broadcast. What the Muslims want. This is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you can find this on the back page of the digital final call or the physical final call, right? This is on all of the final call newspapers. What the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. This is the question asked most frequently by both the whites and the blacks. The answers to this question I shall state as simply as possible. Number one, we want freedom. We want a full and complete freedom. Number two, we want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, our class, our color. Number three, we want equality of opportunity. We want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society. Number four, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and that the area must be fertile and mentally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years. Until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. Since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation in a state or territory of our own. Now, we know a lot of y'all saying, man, they ain't going to do that. Man, that's a pipe dream. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you like the minister told you. You better put it in your pipe, because they're going to the poll, still voting for Donald Trump or voting for Joe Biden, voting for a benevolent white man to come and do something in this political system that America set up that's so tricked up. You might as well put this in your pipe, and don't talk about that they won't take care of us for 20 to 25 years. We've been taking, you, me, we've been taking care of Israel. Yes, the Israelis. We've been taking care of that unjustified land that they got over there in Palestine, that they got from our brothers, where they just stole our identity, claiming that they the chosen of God, when that is us. They got some land and some territory that your tax dollars pay for and support since 1948. So don't talk about what the enemy is doing. The Israelis ain't did a damn thing for America, right? That's America's little brother, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad calls them. So family, hey, we're excited. This is our broadcast. We're gonna go into Allah God making all things new, how we do it, and we got none other on the line to do this. And this is our first guest to be with us, to be present here. So, man, I mean, not only is this my brother, but he is also a personal mentor into the journey of Islam. Because one of the first lectures, one of my favorite lectures from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that I watched while I was being resurrected in the federal prison system, was Savior's Day 1996. And Bro.Jamil Muhammad opened up the lecture. And I remember that. Every time I think about that lecture, I always remember him saying, Savior's Day, Savior's Day. What do the Muslims mean when you hear us saying Savior's Day? And then he go into it, and it's just amazing to have this brother on speed dial, for him to bless us with his presence tonight, and for him to, just accept the call at the drop of a dime and come on and make this broadcast after traveling, dealing with COVID, dealing with everything that's going on. He still made this. I gave him not a real long preparation for it, just a few days, but he answered the call. He wanted to grace us with his presence. Before we get into that, I want to get into our title. And I just want to read from, excuse me. Make sure you subscribe to the Digital Final Call. If you got it in the last couple of days, please inbox us. Let us know that you have subscribed. Please support the Nation of Islam and get your Digital Final Call edition. And make sure you are donating something to Muhammad's economic blueprint. That is for us to secure farmland where we can go into the land and pull out and extract what we need to build homes, clothing, to establish businesses and industrial industries on some land. We already got many, many acres of land in Georgia and in Michigan. So please donate to the Muhammad Economic Blueprint. And the more farmland we get, we can provide more food for the Black nation and all of America as soon as possible, because we are finna head into a major famine. So we need to get our mouth out of the white man's kitchen, right? So family, before we bring our brother on, I just wanted to read to y'all real quick just the first sentence, the first paragraph in this monumental book right here. And you can go to store.final call to get these books. Our Savior has arrived. We got Message to the Black Man. You need to get that. You need to get The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. Support the nation. We got all the tools, all the spiritual mental power that you need if you want to see. And I'm a living witness. If you knew me from my past life, family, I was nothing to behold. I was nothing to be around. I was nothing to look at. But when I came into the teachings and I accepted and I applied the teachings to my day-to-day life, I became an awakened man, a knowledgeable man. I became a father. I became a husband. I became a brother to my brothers and sisters. And I became a real revolutionary, because revolution starts with the way we think. Not with guns, but with the way we think. Family, so let's get into it. This is chapter 23 of Our Savior Has Arrived, page 110. Just the first paragraph I just want to read. I just want to set the tone before we bring our brother on. He, Allah, makes all things new. This book was written by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He, Master Farad Muhammad, God in person, will create a new heaven and a new earth, a new Islam and a new government in people. The new earth referred to is a new people who will change the old into such a great future that actually the earth will look like a new earth, and a new earth will be made here in what we call America. That's the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Make sure you get this book. So let me bring on our brother on out and hold him up no longer. Please welcome to the flat platform family, my brother, your brother, long time pioneer in the nation, long time aid and helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and long time freedom fighter for black people worldwide, brother Jamil Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, dear brother. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. We hear you perfect, brother.
Great, great, great. It's an honor to be on your program tonight. And I'm hearing from the top of the program, Brother Supreme, that this program is not a joke. This thing is moving, brother. And there's a lot of information, a lot of inspiration that should be combined to give us the proper education. So let's get started. I'm happy to be on your program, and I'm asking the Lord of the worlds to bless us with a great discussion tonight in support, not just of those who have already accepted or have chosen to accept Islam as their life's guiding principles, not just those who have united under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but no, it's for everybody. It's for black folks, yes. But you know what? If you're poor and you're Hispanic, if you're poor and you're Caucasian, if you're poor and you're Asian, and those numbers get smaller because other folks have caught on and they've done some things, as Minister Farrakhan said in the opening video clip that we heard, those groups don't have as many poor among them as we do. But wherever you are, if you're a human being in need of self-improvement, tonight you've come to the right place on this broadcast. So, man, I'm excited to be here, brother. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All praises be to Allah. And ironically, brother, when that clip that I clipped, it showed you sitting in the audience, right? And I think that was the student minister next to you. Was that the student minister from out of Memphis, out of 55?
Well, I couldn't see the clip. I couldn't see on my camera. But if you're talking about Brother Anthony,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now known as Brother Abdul Mudakir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It could very well have been, but during those years, in the late 80s, Brother Anthony was assigned to Mosque number 12 in Philadelphia as the minister there in that great city. And he later moved on to his great commission and work in Memphis. But yes, brother, it's an honor to be a part of that brotherhood of ministry. And for me, to have been a minister of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and to have continued in that process to this very day is the greatest honor of my life. And so, man, it was just great to see everything and hear everything that you put forward tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's get into it, man. I got some questions for you that I want to ask, and there's some stuff that I'm gonna learn, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna learn it as we go. So
okay.
So we want to deal with, brother, how long have you been registered in the nation?
Since September the 27th, 1978. Damn. So what does that mean? That means almost, well, next month it'll be 42 years complete.
Man, all praise be to Allah.
I first came to the mosque in 1969 and accepted Islam as my belief, but because I was a junior, I didn't get my mom to give me parental consent to become a registered junior FOI. So I used to have to slip out to the mosque because my mother was like, wait a minute, you want to be a black Muslim? What? She said, no, you can't do that, because she thought that we didn't believe in Jesus. She didn't know. She believed what she had been told by the enemies of our people's rise. So I would slip out to the mosque, and the brother who brought me to the mosque, I'd take every opportunity I can to honor him. Name is Brother Wilbur E.X. Berry. He's gone on now in transition, but Brother Wilbur E.X., known later in his life as Brother Mateen, he was a brother that brought me to the first temple meeting I went to in 1969 at Mosque number 5, or Temple number 5, as it was called then, in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, where I was physically born and first heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So since 1969, I've been your basic believer and doing everything that I could to get it together. But when I became an adult at age 18 in 1978, I stood up and accepted the teachings and registered as a member of the Nation of Islam and the fruit of Islam.
Oh, praise it be to Allah. So you from Cincinnati?
That's right. Born and
Oh,
raised. I probably, if you cut my veins, it probably some Cincinnati chili will come out there. You never know. I mean, I'm just, but yeah, I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Washington D.C.
Oh, praise be to Allah. I didn't know that, man. See what I'm saying? I had to write some of this stuff down because I definitely didn't know, man. I thought you was from Baltimore, DC or whatever. I thought you was from
Uh-huh.
around that area. That's what
Yeah, yeah.
originally.
Well, I mean, these cities, the minister teaches us that the earth belongs to the righteous.
That's right.
So your home is everywhere you go in the name of Allah. And having labored in those great cities, in Washington and Baltimore and Philadelphia and New Orleans, you see, in Atlanta, in Detroit and Chicago and Los Angeles and San Francisco and Oakland and Cleveland and Buffalo, all these places, man, where you travel to bring the word of Allah. When you meet the believers in righteousness and the resurrection of our people, that place becomes a part of your home. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It becomes a home to you. So when I go to Memphis, I'm not asking my way around the city of Memphis. I'm moving, doing what I got to do in Memphis. I go from Orange Mound to Germantown to West Memphis. I don't bother nobody. I'm handling what I got to do in the city. And so this whole nation of Islam is my home. And when people ask me where you're from, yeah, I know I was born in Cincinnati in the Catherine Booth Hospital for Colored Women. Yes, that was the name of it.
Wow.
Yes, I was born in that hospital. I was born in that county, in that city and state. But my home is the Nation of Islam.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. All right. Now these questions, they're gonna get heavy now as we go now.
All right.
This might be the heaviest one out of all of them.
Okay.
Who is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to you?
Who is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to me?
Yeah, to you. Yes, sir.
Well, Minister Farrakhan is more than any one particular answer. The great composer and band leader and musical entrepreneur, Duke Ellington, Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington had a phrase he used to tell people, "I love you madly." And he would say, "We love you madly." And they would ask him why. And he would say, "Because you are beyond category." The minister to me is beyond category. There is no single role in life, mentor, teacher, father, leader, guide, inspiration, example. None of those words is enough to describe who he has been to me. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been the most important person in my life. I stayed with my mother and father until I was 18. And then I left home, or 17. My father was with me, living on this plane of life for the first 32 years of my life. I've been with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan longer than I've been with either of my parents. I've been with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan longer than I was with any of the great women who stood and became my wives. Lord, you got to be crazy to be my wife. But anyway, I was with the minister longer than I was with any of my wives. I've been with the minister before my children were conceived. And up to this very day, all they ever have known of their father is that I'm with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I've traveled with the minister and learned from him in small, intimate settings and in large venues. The minister has corrected me forcefully in public and I've been grateful to be checked and chastised and corrected. He is the most important figure in my life, and he is beyond category.
Mm. Wow, man, that's deep. I hope when somebody asks me that, I hope I can give an answer like that, brother. That is deep, brother.
Oh, praise be to
Wow.
Allah, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Wow,
Praise
that
be
is
to Allah.
deep, brother. That is profound. I just wanted to let the people get a clear, get a clear understanding on what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan not just mean to us, but what he really means to Black America and why, he is so hated by the Jewish community, right?
Well, he's hated by elements of the Jewish community. You can't really say that the Jewish community as a whole, you can't take them as a whole. Here's what I mean, Brother Supreme.
Yes, sir.
There are some Jews upstate in New York, right? The followers of a gentleman named Rabbi Hager. Rabbi Hager. They say that Minister Farrakhan, and these are Caucasian Jews, they say that he is the Messiah.
Yes, sir.
And they have actually written it and put it down and engraved it on a silver plate and given it to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a gift, a memento, a keepsake, and a public reminder that they know who he is. They're Jews, but they don't hate Farrakhan.
Yes,
Then
sir.
there are Jews who are Black like you and me, who look like you and me, not just talking about Hebrew Israelites, not just talking about the original African Hebrews, not just talking about those who are in those particular groups who observe the Torah, but I'm talking about Black people who refer to themselves as Jewish. They love us and we love them, and we're brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to drop that in so that you would know, and so our listeners would know, the minister is not hated by all Jews. He's hated by wrongdoing Jews. He's hated by evil Jews, by false satanic Jews,
Yes,
by
sir.
Jews who seek to appropriate and usurp the authority and identity of the real chosen people of God by claiming to be what they are not. He's hated by the Jews mentioned in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9, and Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9, where it reads, "And those of the synagogue of Satan, who say we are Jews and are not, but do lie." Those are the people who hate Minister Farrakhan. How can you hate a man who has never done so much as get arrested for jaywalking? How can you hate a man that's never got arrested for spitting on the sidewalk? How can you hate a man who's taking the people who used to be the biggest problems in society and cleaning us up and making us men and women, like you said in your opening remarks, dear brother? You said I was going through some things in the process of being resurrected in the federal penitentiary. But you said you learned some things from Islam, and now you are a husband and a father and a model citizen and a businessman. And I might add, you're pretty darn well dressed too, brother. See, all of those things are happening for you because of the leadership and teaching and tutelage of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Who would hate a man who is teaching us to become responsible fathers and care for the children that we produce with our wives? Who would hate a man who's teaching us as women to raise our necklines and lower our hemlines and increase our IQ? Who would hate a man that is giving to us the level of civilization, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is giving us from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Who would hate him but a devil?
Teach, brother. Hey, brother. Hey, teach, brother. Hey, man. Wow. That was, hey, wow, man. Don't get me excited, man. Don't get me excited, man. Man. Hey, yes, man. Wow, you're right. Who would hate a man like that other than a devil? You're right. It couldn't be nothing but a devil to hate a man like Farrakhan, man. That's, hey, yeah, you're right. All right, next question, man. We're gonna kind of shift gears just partially, then we're gonna get back.
Yes, sir.
What made you? But remember this separation and independence. So, what made you join Carabar?
Oh, wow. That's a good question, brother. First, I want to thank the brothers who sponsored me in the business. Brother Frank Muhammad and my dear brother Kevin 2X Thompson, Team Freedom and Four Big and Brothers Huddle. And these brothers in the nation already had an understanding of carrot bars as a vehicle by which we who follow Muhammad can do what Muhammad said. I know you've been on your program for many, many weeks and months, and you talk about freedom. You talk about separation. We all know in the Nation of Islam that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad once held up a coin at the dinner table with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and told him, brother, this is pure gold. One day soon it will be the medium of exchange. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
He told him it would be the medium of exchange. At that time, in the 60s, and up until deep into the 70s, an ounce of gold cost $35. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. In the year 2001, after many, many market shifts and problems geopolitically around the world drove the price of gold up, in 2001, an ounce of gold was $236. When I started the Carrot Bars business in 2018, gold was about $1,290 an ounce. Today, less than 2.5 years later, after my beginning in this business, gold is sitting right near $2,000 an ounce. Hear me now. $2,000 an ounce for the substance that our leader and teacher told us to gain control over. And then later on tonight, I hope we get a chance to bear witness to it in the pages of the Bible that we all read. It's there, right? But
Yes,
look
sir.
behind your left shoulder in the graphic on you, brother. It says $100. There it is over there. $100. No, on the other side. There you go. It says $100. That's it. Now you're looking right at it right now. $100 in gold for the person who works this problem.
Who works this problem?
For the fastest and neatest worker of the problem. $100 in gold in the prices of gold in 1933 when it was written. I want you to hear me now. Gold at that time was somewhere between $33 and $35 an ounce. $100 in gold was 3 ounces of gold. Hear me now. If you come fast forward to 2020, because of the loss of purchasing power of the dollar, because of its rapid inflation, because of the ultimate failure of all fiat currencies, because of the interference of the Federal Reserve System, because of the meddling of the European central banks, because of the hyper-militarism of the United States government and her interventionist, nosy, meddling policies all around the globe, because of all of those factors and more, gold in the year 2020 sits at $2,000 an ounce, not 33 like it used to be, 2,000. So that same $100 in gold that is over your left shoulder, that same $100 in gold from 1933 would be worth just about $6,000 today. Where else can you go and have a divine spiritual exercise presented to you and then have it announced with authority and credibility that when you work this problem, you'll receive $6,000 worth of gold. That is because gold is the oldest store of value in the history of the planet. Gold has been consistently for at least the last 5,000 years the ultimate means of wealth storage, wealth creation, and wealth stabilization. Gold has been in the popular culture and the mind of the people as the definitive wealth builder and wealth holder. Remember your old movies. See, you young, bro, Supreme. You ain't watched no old movie. I used to watch them old cowboy pictures, brother. And the cowboy pictures, they'd have the stagecoach coming from Kansas City on the way to San Francisco, and they'd be riding through Kansas, Colorado, or Wyoming, and Nevada. They'd be out there in the West, and they ride through, and all of a sudden, the bad guys would jump out from behind a tumbleweed or a tree. And the first thing the bad guys say, "How do, ma'am? I'm going to need y'all to put your guns down and give me all of your what? Gold." They rob them for the gold. In the pirate movies, you remember pirate movies, right?
Yes, sir.
Pirate ship pulls over to the other ship. Then the guy with one leg and one eyeball and a parrot on his shoulder and an earring in his ear and a bandana on his head. He jumps on the stage of the other boat. "Arr, shiver me timbers. I'm gonna need you to give me all of your gold."
Teach, brother.
See, since the beginning of the understanding of memory in the world that is going out now, gold has always been the defining. When you look at the Bible in the book of Revelations, the 3rd chapter and the 18th verse, God actually tells his servants what to do. Can I just talk about this for a minute?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to keep you too long, but it's fascinating to me how God is dealing with his servants over the issue of gold. And they had to be brought up into it, see, Brother Supreme. They had to be brought up into an understanding, because in the 17th chapter of the book of Revelation, y'all get your Bible and follow me now, because I know you don't believe me. I know you think I'm crazy. I know you think I'm square as a pool table and twice as green, but I want you to look into this now. In the book of Revelation, in chapter 3, verse 17, to the church in Laodicea, we're learning that their response to the message of God was that they say, "I am rich." That's what they tell you now. "I'm rich, I've grown wealthy, and I don't need anything." But you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. That's a bad condition to be in. You're wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked? That's a bad condition to be in. But the people who are in that condition have been blinded, and they will tell you when you come to offer them the way out of their situation by saving and in gold. They'll tell you, "I don't need that. I'm rich. I have grown wealthy, and I need nothing."
Right.
What do you mean? See, that's the people who tell you, "I got a good government job." That's what they say in DC. "I got a good government job." In Detroit, you know what they tell you? "I don't need that. I work at the Ford plant." Huh? Down in New Orleans, they tell you, "I don't need that. I'm a longshoreman out at the pier." In Houston, they tell you, "I don't need that. I work offshore at the oil drilling rig. I got plenty of money. I don't need that." But what they are doing is dealing in fiat currency. And in reality, if you don't have gold, you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. Wow. Look at verse 18. This is God talking now. And you can tell it's God talking because in the word "me," there's the capital M, signifying that it is God himself addressing the poor and masses of the people. He says, "I counsel you to buy from me," which means that the origin of the thing is from him. "I'm counseling you to buy gold refined by fire so that you may become rich." Is it say that right there? When you read it, am I reading it right?
Yes, sir.
It says, buy gold, which is from me now. Buy this gold that's refined by fire. That means it's been distilled and refined to its pure state. It's pure gold. Let me ask you a quick question, Brother Supreme. What kind of gold is Karatbars dealing? Is it pure gold?
Yes, sir. 20,
My
24
goodness.
carat,
24
999.
karat 999. Pure gold. Ooh, look at this. Then we might be on to something. It says, buy this gold from me that you may become rich, and then buy white garments so that you may be clothed and your shameful nakedness not exposed. That doesn't just mean buy a white linen two-piece outfit to wear to a cookout this summer or go on a cruise on somebody's cruise ship. It means that white garments symbolize purity. So there's the purity of the gold refined in the fire, and then there's purity in the way that we carry ourselves. We have a code of ethic in Wealth Builders Worldwide. That code of ethics makes sure that we handle ourselves with purity. See, in the Forward Money team, there's purity, there's honesty, there's dignity, there's mutual respect for all of the members of the organization who come to work together to get up out of this poverty. That's the white garments that show your purity, and they hide the shame of the things that we didn't know, the things about which we were ignorant. Let me close out by saying this. The last thing he said is, you want to add salve to anoint your eyes so you can see. If we couldn't see, that indicates that there was at least a temporary blindness. We were unable, as it says in verse 17, you're wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. We were unable to see, Brother Supreme, that what you're teaching us on this powerful broadcast is true. You have taught us in past programs of the folly of following after central banks. You have taught us on this program that the commercial banks are crooked. You have taught us that our dollar bill that we so chase all around is crippled. And you have taught us that we have to open our eyes and see. What you're teaching us is the salve, S-A-L-V-E, the salve that you put on your eyes to help you see.
Oh, praise.
So God says, lastly, those that I love, I rebuke and I discipline them. And it says elsewhere in the scripture, he that the Lord loveth, he chasteneth much, chasteneth much, right? These I love, I rebuke and I discipline. Therefore, be earnest. That means be honest and truthful and transparent. Be earnest and repent. Repent of being a wasteful spender. Repent of being the kind of person that took a cruise every year but didn't have any savings put away for your children in gold. Repent of being the kind of person, Brother Supreme, that would take substance from your employment and run around drinking it up, smoking it up, run around chasing certain things that are fat and jiggle. Don't chase that around. Everybody will figure that out later on. But see, you don't want to chase that around and spend your money on that. What you want to do is to be able to buy gold, which is from God, that you may become rich. And in your wealth, that you may deploy your wealth, right, with earnestness and discipline, so that God can correct us and bring us back to him. That's what I hear in your program. That's what I see in the Forward Money team. That's what I see in Wealth Builders Worldwide and in this team of brothers and sisters working together to bring our communities up out of poverty. I know that was a long answer. You said, why did you come to Karatbars? Yes, for that.
Oh, praises be to Allah. Man, you just talk hard. Let me get to these quick. Woo, man. Wow, like, wow. I mean, it's there, man. Everything is there, man. This what it is, man. It's separation, independence, y'all. Allah God makes all things new. We honor with student minister, Bro.Jamil Muhammad, longtime pioneer of the Nation of Islam. All right, brother. Wow. Now this with him. Now we need you on this one.
Okay.
How do you view Mr. Harold Sykes?
Harold Sykes is a visionary. Dr. Harold Sykes is a man who is gifted with a vision to change the world, and whether he knows it or not, that vision is going to bring the boats on the bottom to the top of the ocean. Whether Harold Sykes knows it or not, and I'm sure he has a good idea because I heard him say personally, I sat next to him. Can I talk about what he said, brother?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
He said to us at a dinner in Miami, Florida, a couple of years ago, he said to us, I want to return gold into the possession of honest, everyday, hardworking people. You know what that means? That means that is a reallocation of resources. That's a redistribution of wealth. That is going to be fought against by people who have lived many centuries and become fat and become rich at the expense of billions of poor people. Let me put the numbers in perspective like Dr. Harold Sykes would do. You see, there are approximately 7 billion people on the earth today. 1% of those persons, 1% of those persons hold any kind of gold. 1% of 7 billion, if my math serves me correctly. See, 10% of 7 billion is 700 million. 1% would be 70 million. And of those 70 million persons, the vast majority of them live in the northern hemisphere, and they live between two continents, North America and Europe. I'm trying to tell you something about the demographic makeup of that community. I don't want to be rude, but this is not black and brown and yellow and red people who hold gold. It is not poor people who hold gold. It is the wealthy in Europe and America who have gobbled up an unfair portion of the world's resources and kept to themselves petroleum and kept to themselves gold and kept to themselves diamonds and kept to themselves all of the resources that make the world what it is. They've been so wicked, Dr. Harold Sykes recognizes, that they go into Africa, Brother Supreme, where the natural resources grow. This is how crazy it is. You got a country like the Ivory Coast in Africa that grows cocoa to make chocolate, right? That's where it grows. But they don't own, the people who live there don't own it. They sell it to big national corporations. I'm not going to name the corporation, Nestle's. Okay, but these big corporations, they then take the cocoa crop and take it to Europe and America, process it into Nestle's Quick and Nestle's candy bars and other candy items, then take them back to Africa and sell them to the people who grew the daggone cocoa. This is the kind of economic inequity that Dr. Harold Sykes and Karatbars is designed to bring to balance. When you look at a person like Dr. Sykes, who sees, and in his book, The Future of Money, he talks about it. He understood that fiat currency had to lose its value. It had to return to zero value. That no fiat currency in the history of the world ever issued by any government anywhere on earth at any time had ever held its value. They all lose their value. And so, the same way the dollar is going, so goes the euro. I'm sorry. So goes the ruble in Russia. So goes the yuan of Japan and the yuan of China. So goes every currency, the peso of Mexico. So goes every currency. The drachma of Greece. So goes every currency as they fail. Dr. Seitz knows this. Who is Dr. Seitz to me? How do I see him? As a visionary whose time came on time.
Mm.
Y'all didn't
Teach,
hear what I
brother.
said. His time came on time. If he had done what he said he was doing in this time before, when gold was still backing the US dollar, it would not have been efficacious. It wouldn't have made sense.
It wouldn't
But
have
the
made
dollar,
sense.
but in 1971, under President Nixon, the dollar was taken off the gold standard.
Teach. Teach.
So now there's nothing backing the dollar. And the average household in America is losing and bleeding and hemorrhaging money from its savings and from its personal wealth. Add to that, Brother Supreme, while you're shaking your head, but add to that. Now, listen. The Boston Globe did a study of the families in Boston, Massachusetts. And there is a further wealth gap exacerbated by the condition of racial identity. In Boston, Massachusetts, and these figures were pointed out during the presidential campaign of Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, the average white family in Boston has a net worth, you hear me?
Yes,
A
sir.
net worth of $240,000
Wow.
per family. That's not bad. It's modest. It's 240,000. That's their house. That's their stocks. That's their land that they own. That's everything that they own, and all of the liquidity and equity connected with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the average worth of the average black family in Boston would be? If the whites are 240, what would you say the blacks' worth is?
Probably 2,500.
2,500. My gosh, that's like, brother, that's 200, and you saying 2,500? My goodness, that's very low, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's 100 times less. Dear beloved, the actual answer is the average worth of a so-called African American household in Boston was $8.
What?
I said
$8.
I know you have your research crew right there in the studio with you. Have them
$8.
to look up Boston Globe, the average worth of a black family and a white family. I believe my figures are exactly correct. I'm going to check it right now while I'm talking to you. But
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir. Well, let's tell the audience, folks that's listening, when you're doing net worth, that's everything that you pretty much own that you're not borrowed on. So meaning if you got a house and your house is worth what 300,000 and you only done paid 50,000 on it, then your net worth that's minus. So you'd be minus 250,000,
there you
right?
go.
So
That's right.
that wouldn't be. So if I had a house and the net worth or the house was $1 million and it's paid for, so I ain't got no debt. Meaning net worth is whatever you have that's liquid or assets
That's
that
right.
gain value, appreciate compared to your debt.
That's it. That's it.
I mean,
So here's
oh wow,
the
you're right.
headline.
My wife just pulled it up. You're
Yeah,
right.
you see where it says that was no typo. The median net worth of black Bostonians really is $8.
Man, I said 25. I gave us a lot then when
Yeah,
I said
you gave
2,500.
us a lot. You gave us a lot. The median net worth for non-immigrant African American
Wow.
households in the greater Boston region is $8.
Wow.
That of whites is 240,000 per household. You see the inequities that are experienced by communities which have been traditionally the victims of illegal, immoral, unrighteous financial practices, lending of money at high rates of interest, usury, right? These communities have been the victims of so many other practices, redlining, so many other practices, the denial of employment, so many other practices, the predatory lending schemes and scandals that affect America. All of them affect the poor and the black, worst of all. So now here comes Dr. Harold Sykes with a program that allows poor people to begin saving gold in small, affordable, transactionable increments. And by time, begin to pull ourselves up, not by our bootstraps. Hell, we don't even have no boots to have straps on,
Real.
but we're
Real.
pulling ourselves up by the will to make something different. And as Minister Farrakhan said in your opening montage, he said, if you're rich, who the hell are you to question us about what we do to get up out of being poor? We don't question you. You don't have the right to question us about what we do to get up out of being poor. Dr. Sykes, I have seen him walk among the very wealthy and the very poor with the same consistency of his comportment. I've seen him go among people of various different ethnicities and racial backgrounds and national origins. And he treats people the same. He's a good guy. Okay, he's a good guy. And you can't, like, you and I were with him in Las Vegas last summer.
Yes, sir.
And we saw that he's not a bad man. He handles his business. And God gives to whom he chooses what he chooses. For those of you skeptics who think that we're so much a black militant that we can't listen to nobody who's a Caucasian, stop that kind of irresponsible stuff. Stop talking about me and my brother Supreme like we ignorant. Stop it. We can hear truth wherever it comes. We respond to truth, and it doesn't take away from who we are in the least. Dr. Harold Sykes has provided us a vehicle that we are moving toward our financial destiny in that vehicle. Just because you buy a Lexus doesn't mean you want to be Japanese.
Yeah.
Just because you buy a Cadillac doesn't mean you think that the people who own General Motors love you. No, what you are doing is providing yourself the best vehicle that you can provide to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Where do we want to be? We want to be in a place of wealth, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. We want to be in a position where we can use the resources that we have gained to purchase land and put that land under cultivation. And when that land is under cultivation and produces the bounty of her goodness to us, I'm talking about the land now, then the land puts more profit back in our pocket. Guess what we get? Some more gold. Right? Then
Yes,
we
sir.
come back. And when that gold produces more profit, guess what we go get then? Some more land. And we begin to produce food, clothing, and shelter for our own people and for whatever other people of goodwill need those things. We
Teach,
are
bro.
a nation of gods, and gods do not turn people down. Gods accept people. You remember the rain that falls on these farms, it falls on the wheat farm and the corn farm for the young brother in the South. It falls on the cotton farm out west. It even falls overseas on the poppy farms where they grow the plant that becomes heron. So Allah, God, provides for the righteous and the wicked. This is the time that Dr. Harold Sykes came up in, Brother Supreme. And he came up in a time where he has introduced a mechanism, a vehicle by which financial equity can begin to come about. It's heavy, man. It's more than just you and I getting some gold for our personal use so we can have a flashy gold holdings and make a big money every week. Yeah, you're going to make big money because you're building with your business package. Of course, you're going to make that money. But remember this, dear listener, gold is for saving. Cash is for spending. Gold is for saving. Hold on to your gold. I got one brother in my organization, Brother Supreme. I'm going to give it back to you, brother. But he said, this was maybe 2 months ago. He said, man, I got this gold. This COVID got me scared. I need to turn my gold in for cash. I said, I wouldn't do it. He said, man, I need cash. I said, I wouldn't do it. He took it and got cash. He had a couple of ounces of gold. He took it out to one of these dealers and they gave him the amount per ounce minus 11%, 10, 11%, something like that for a service fee for them. So what he could have gotten at that time, about $1,390 per ounce, he ended up getting that amount minus whatever it is. And he looked at the gold figures the other day. I saw him out at the Starbucks by the drive-through window, pulled over next to him. Man, the brother looked at, he said, man, I could have got $2,000 an ounce if I had just held on. But he tried to trade his gold for that worthless cash. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it.
You know, that's one of the things that we say, that when people ask us the price, well, our cash goes the best price, but we get it in the system. We ain't even worried about price. Like I just got an email tonight that I got some grams coming, right? That I didn't pay for.
That's right.
This all auto save gold. I ain't pay nothing for it, right? And it's coming tomorrow while a lot of people worried about gold shipping. All of the stuff that you don't have to worry about, that we keep telling you. The man wrote the book, The Future of Money, family. So he didn't just write the book. He is bringing the system to the world that's producing the future money.
That's it. And that's what makes the difference, bro. That's what makes the difference. See, the future of money is not tied to the past of currency. The future of money is the reality of real stores of value. Real stores of value that allow for equitable exchanges among people of honesty and goodwill. When you start dealing with the fact that the old banking system, the central banking system, allowed for greedy, covetous, scheming bankers to take control of huge quantities of the wealth of the world, then you can begin to realize what happened. Do you think it's a coincidence that the US dollar, since the inception of the Federal Reserve Bank in 1913, has lost 95% of its spending power?
95%.
95%. Yet the United States government is hoarding as much gold as it can get at Fort Knox and other places. Wait a minute, government. You want to give me a greenback dollar, but what you want is gold? No. I see something wrong with that. Why do you think in the ghettos of America, all across the ghettos? Now, Brother Supreme, I know you have never actually been in a ghetto before, but let me describe to you what happens. Let me describe to you what happens. Brother, when you drive up and down the road in the hood, you see signs. We buy gold. We buy gold. Bring us your gold. Cash for gold. What do they know that we don't know? Why do they want to give us cash and then take from us our gold? Do you think they would put themselves at a disadvantage? No. They're taking gold from us and then putting it through a reverse refining process to isolate the pure gold that can be melted down so that they will have real wealth. And what they gave you was just a worthless piece of paper. We have a business partner here in the Washington, D.C. area. She's a school teacher. And school teachers don't have 401ks. They have what's called a 403b. Some of you listeners know what I'm talking about if you're an educator. The 403b is your educational system equivalent of a 401k. She went to get some money out of her 401k, which she had put about $60,000 into it. And when she looked at the balance, Brother Supreme, it said she had $48,000. And she said, wait a minute, what's the problem? I've contributed $60,000. The man said, yeah, you contributed 60, but you lost in the stock market 12,000. Then you've lost over time since you've been teaching the annual rate of inflation, which is about 2% of a year in inflation. So when she came and saw her money had shrunk, she made a move. And if you're listening to this program, you should make the same move. Get back with the person. I'm not an advisor. I can't tell you what to do. You know, Brother Supreme said we're not financial advisors. We don't claim to give you a licensed tax advice, but I can tell you what I did, and I can tell you what my sister did. She took and put some of her money, most of it actually, in gold. Now she looks like Albert Einstein's twin sister. She looks like a genius.
Genius.
Why? Because when she did that 2 years ago, gold was already moving up, but now gold has begun to sprint toward the top of the mountain. Gold is running uphill. And so much so that Forbes and Bank of America and other financial prognosticators and predictors have expected gold, and they've said it, that within 18 months, gold should be between $3,000 and $3,500 an ounce. Why in the world? I'm going to say it again. Why in the good world? Why in the world would you not begin to get gold today and hold it for a time when gold will be able to leverage your ability to secure the things that you and your family need for yourself? Will we need land? We surely will. Will we need to be able to produce and secure ships to take our produce to other countries around the world and deal with our people and others around the world? Of course we will. Gold allows you to do that, not some cash. I mean, I want you to think about how silly this is, man. We work and work and work and work, and then we borrow money and spend that money that we borrow. Then we got to work some more to pay the bills, and then we work more and get some money, and guess what? Go back and borrow some more money. Ain't that crazy?
That's modern day slavery. That's another
Oh, it
form.
ain't nothing but modern day slavery. Nothing but. So we're looking at modern day slavery, and pardon me for saying ain't. I don't mean to be incorrect, but I'm telling you, it makes you a wage slave. You buy stuff you don't need with money you don't have.
The money you don't have.
And then the more you spend, the more you're in debt. Now, the more you're in debt, the more you work. The more you work, now the more you borrow. And then, of course, the more you borrow, the more you spend, and you're right back where you started out again.
Wow.
See, it's a cycle, man. The cycle goes around and around and around and around, and our people get caught up.
Perpetuated, give it down to the children. Like, we happy when our teenage children get jobs and all this stuff here. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? You know, but we happy about it. He just did this. My son, he's 16. He got a job. Why they got a job? What you finna make him pay rent? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? What they need a job for? You know what I'm saying? You got an iPhone, make them use the iPhone. Robert Kiyosaki said the iPhone is the most powerful thing that the millenniums can have. You know what I'm saying? But they got to unlock their mind to do it, man. That's powerful, brother. And let's move forward. That's powerful, brother. And Warren Buffett just bought a whole bunch of gold mining stocks.
Yeah, he took his money. Check out what he did now. He took 20 million stock certificates out of Goldman Sachs. Listen what he did now. Then he took another 21.5 million out of Chase Manhattan Bank, JP Chase Bank.
Yes, sir.
Then look what's happening. He took those resources and plowed them into Barrick Mining Company. Barrick Mining Company is a mining company that was falling on hard times, but now will begin to resuscitate their search to mine and refine what? Gold. Warren Buffett, I would say, is considered by all a somewhat savvy investor. He knows what he's doing. What does he see that we don't know? What is going on financially in America, in the world, that you can have a pandemic gripping the world in fear of its death-dealing consequences? The pandemic is raging. In America, there are 50 million new unemployed people. The unemployment rate is over 20%, and that's just among the people that they still measuring, right? The economy is shutting down. Nobody can work a job. People are applying for benefits. And if they try to come out and cut that $600 unemployment benefit to $300, they told you they only going to give you that for 3 weeks. Then you're waiting on a $1,200 stimulus check to pay bills that you've been back behind on since March. I want you to think with me now, but yet and still against all of the economic gloom and doom that what I just said represents, how is it that the stock market is at an all-time high? What kind of trick game is somebody playing?
It's inflation.
See, I understand from back in my, I'm an old school cat, Brother Supreme. I'm an old school cat. And we used to say it like this: game, recognize game. That's what we used to say. Game, recognize game. We would tell them, big bank, take little bank. That's real. You're looking at these people organized to suck up the resources, suck up the value, suck up the life's work of the people. And it's a sin and a shame. I know we only have a few more minutes to be on the air, but I needed to say that. And I thank you for letting me get it out. Thank you, my dear. But that's who Harold Sykes is to me. He's a visionary that saw all of that.
Man. I mean, brother, everything what you're saying, man, is just right in line, because the wealthy know the wealth transfer is taking place. They know when the economic system is falling, that means it's a major benefit or major prosperity on the other side of it. And they are just positioning themselves. Warren Buffett is positioning himself.
That's right.
And we just have to do the same thing, especially when we have this type of opportunity that we're presenting. All right, let's switch gears again, brother. We're down to the last 2 questions now.
Okay.
You kind of answered these. You kind of went into this, but let's go. Last 2 questions. Why does the Nation of Islam teach separation and independence?
And that's a short answer, because separation is the only and best answer to the problem between black and white. It does not mean that you hate white people. I know you don't want to hate them. I understand. But that doesn't mean that. Separation occurred in history. Let me point to a time that it occurred. You don't believe it? Check it out. Anybody ever heard of 1776? Anybody ever heard of the American Revolution? Anybody ever heard of one if by land, two if by sea? There were issues between the British government under the leadership of King George III and the 13 American colonies, which had agricultural and some commercial concerns, and they wanted to be heard in the House of Lords and the House of Commons in London. They weren't, and so they came up with the idea that taxation without representation is tyranny. They came up with the slogans, "Don't tread on me," "Give me liberty," or "Give me death," right? They talked about separation because they couldn't agree with the government that had been ruling them. Brother Supreme, we have a case far better for separation into a nation of our own than the colonists did.
True that.
Those colonists weren't being hung from trees. They weren't being beaten and shot down in the streets by the police. They never had crack cocaine dumped in their communities. And then when Gary Webb tried to tell about it in the San Jose Mercury, he ended up dead by suspicious means. They didn't do those things under the British Crown. They were white folks who had problems with other white folks about money and politics. We don't have no money, and we're not represented in politics. All we do in America is die and suffer. So what do? We separate. Is there a precedent for it in the scripture? By all means. I have an Old Testament, and you do too. And not one single page of the Old Testament tells us that God told Moses to go down and tell old Pharaoh to let my people vote. That's not what it said. He never told Moses, said, go down and tell old Pharaoh, let my people integrate. That's not, no, he didn't say that. He never said, go down, Moses, and tell old Pharaoh to let my people intermarry. No, he didn't tell him that either. He said, let my people what? Go. That's separation. Separation is natural. If you can't get along in peace, you separate.
Separate.
If you can't get justice, you separate. Doesn't mean that every single white person is a fire breathing, no good dragon of a low down devil. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. It means that there may be white people of goodwill who have righteous intentions. Remember John Brown. John Brown gave his life in an attempt to free black people from slavery. So we respect that there are white people of righteous intention who mean us well, but they are weak compared to the vast lump of whites in America who support the likes of a person like Donald Trump, who goes in the press and says that African Americans are lazy. All they want to do is have fun and make love and sit around. He says these things for attribution in the press. How is it that we can want to be integrated with a people who show us every day that there is no justice in them for us? Dear beloved brother supreme, when you think about it, every time a black man and woman is shot in the street by the police, taken into the jailhouse and come out dead like Sandra Bland, choked to death like Eric Garner on videotape, shot to death like Philando Castile on videotape in front of his wife and child. Every time one of us is killed like George Floyd with the knee of that no good police officer on his neck for 9 minutes on camera, but nothing ever happens. There's no justice in them for you whatsoever. Nothing. And so I say to you, remember this, dear beloved. Separation is the natural order called for by God. Separation is called for by God. Now, not everybody may want to go. Some black people want to stay in America. That's fine. Some black people don't want 4 or 5 or 8 states that we can call our own. Some black people don't want to live in it. Man, what? Live with all black folk? Heck, no.
They just
I
a
had a
kid.
man tell me one time he didn't even want to go to heaven if there was no white folks there. No, I'm serious. Now this is the level of mental illness. How can it really be heaven if there's no white folks there?
Wow.
So naturally, for people with that mindset, they need to stay near to the people that they believe in. They have a sick love-hate relationship with white America. It's sick. And for those people, there's very little that you can do, beloved. You can't do much for them. You see, but for the righteous, separation is the answer. And it will allow us to have ultimately a healthier relationship with the people from whom we came. Think about this now. Look at America and England. Are there two closer allies anywhere on earth than those two? Probably not.
Probably not.
But America had to fight England to make her free. She had to say, look, no, I'm getting out of here now. No, I'm out. No, you're not leaving. You're not leaving. You stay right here, America. We're going to keep you up under our boot heel. Stay right here, right? America's, no, by God, we're going to leave you. We got to fight you, goddamn British, right? See? And so they left, right? But now they're close friends. But America made England to respect her. What will we do to make white America respect us as a nation of free men and women? That's the question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's why the nation teaches separation, family. You there?
Yes, I'm right here, brother. I can hear
Yes,
you.
sir. That's why the Nation family, from the great pioneer student minister, brother Jamil Muhammad, that's why we teach separation and independence, because it's the only solution. All right, last and final question. This might
Yes.
be the heaviest question of them all, brother. So
Drum
I want
roll,
y'all
please.
there. I see
Yes,
you.
sir.
I see Kevin 2X. I see him on YouTube watching. Shout out to our brother, and he will be on the Future Money Show this Saturday, inshallah. So
Who
make
is
sure
that?
everybody's tuned in for that. You know, we coming hard, man. We not slowing down. You know what
Who's
I'm
that?
saying?
Who's that that's watching on YouTube? Did you say who is that?
That's Kevin 2X,
My brother. Let me tell you
my
about Brother
brother,
Kevin
man.
2X. He's a
Yes, sir.
legend, man. Let me tell
Yes,
you about
sir.
it. Before you ask that last question, I'm smiling when you say his name. Brother Kevin is a funny cat, man. He is a guy who is brilliant. He reminds you and he remind me of each other, brother. He's a brilliant man and he's a knowledgeable organization builder. So there's nothing about carrot bars that Kevin doesn't know. Brother Kevin is actually the one that put me in the business. And Brother Kevin is knowledgeable about, if you do this, then this is what will happen. If you sponsor this person and put him here in your organization, then this is what will take place. If you want this to happen, put this person over here, cause this and that to happen, and then those transactions will roll out. I mean, he's brilliant when it comes to that, right? But don't try to ask Brother Kevin to drive out of town when you're making a presentation in another city. He can't do it. His phone is ringing. He's on the phone. He's talking. The car is swerving left to right. Best thing for you to do is you drive and let Brother Kevin sit in the passenger seat. That's the best. That's the best. That's the best thing you can do. But that's my brother. I thank God for him, for his lovely wife Shelby, for their wonderful family, and for the leadership that he has provided for us at Team Freedom. As we started out the show at the top of the hour saying, Team Freedom, finding real educated entrepreneurs to help develop others into a millionaire mentality. And that's what we still do because of the leadership of Brother Kevin 2X. I just want to say that. Shout out to you, Brother Kevin 2X. May
yes,
Allah
sir.
bless
Yes,
you,
sir.
brother.
All praise due to Allah. You know, it's one of my closest partners, not only in the nation, but also in Carrot Bars International Wealth Builders. I'm very happy to know that brother, to even be close and tied to that brother. I listen to everything he has to say when it comes to network marketing, team building, and just being a soldier,
Yes,
and
sir.
being consistent and steadfast. He is one of the few people that I have ever let just, we did a private meeting where I let him talk to my team, you know what I'm saying, or our
Mm-hmm,
team.
mm-hmm,
Language do
mm-hmm.
that. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
He the only one I ever let do that. I never let nobody else that was not
Mm-hmm.
in our organization come and talk to the team except Kevin 2X. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's so that tell you the how much I admire the brother and how much the brother inspires me to be a professional and to be inside this. So big shout out to our
Yes,
brother.
sir.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
last question, family, y'all. Hey, look, this it right here. We get this. We at the conclusion. The last question that we got for brother, student minister Jamil Muhammad, longtime aider to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, longtime soldier in the ranks of Muhammad, longtime freedom fighter, revolutionary. You go watch any of them old Nation of Islam videos on YouTube, you will see this brother with the mic opening up for the minister, right? So that is just powerful in itself. To be able to speak, y'all just don't understand. To be able to speak before the minister comes on and delivers the word to the world, that's a woo, woo. You just don't know, family. But listen, it's it, brother.
Okay.
How does Allah, God, make all things new?
The short answer is 3 words long. I don't know. And and neither does any of the rest of us know how he does it. I don't know. I don't know if that was a trick question, but
No,
I
it
don't
wasn't,
know.
brother. I just
But
read
let me say this to you. The
something.
evidence that we can see
Yes, sir.
is that everything in this world today is rotten to the core. If this world were allowed to continue as it is, it would do what it seems like it's already begun to do, and that is implode and fall in on itself from the weight of its rebellion against God and his law. How does God make everything new? In book of Revolutions, excuse me, Revelations, that was an intentional slip. But in the book of Revelations 21:9, we see that, behold, he makes all things new. It's even mentioned that he makes it new in the twinkling of an eye. We will be changed, right? What are these changes? What needs to happen? I was so lifted last night listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the time and what must be done. What Minister Farrakhan said to us was that the power to change is in the universe now. That there are ideas and thoughts and concepts and visions that this world has never even conceived, also bearing witness to the Bible, that that eye has not seen, and ear has not heard, and nor has it entered into the heart of man to conceive what God will do and the wonders he'll bring about. That's what's going to happen for you and for me. The change that we seek. I really don't know how he makes all things new, but I guarantee you, I believe that he does. Because every word that Allah has revealed in the Quran, in the Bible, every word that he has spoken in the mouths of his messengers, everything in the heavens and the earth bears witness that the truth is with us now. The truth of the change is with us now. The truth of the change is that we'll be poor before we start, and at the end, we'll be poor no longer. We'll be ignorant at the beginning, and in the end, we'll be wise. That our wisdom will confound those who already see themselves as wise. Ooh, good God Almighty. See, God is showing us that the change is real. There's signs in what we've seen the Nation of Islam do. Dick Gregory, I was watching the other day on one of his videos. You know, it's been 3 years as of yesterday or the day before that Dick Gregory had departed our midst, and we miss our dear beloved elder. Dick Gregory said, there's one man in America who could take your sons and nephews and daughters and nieces and cousins and uncles and aunties and find them on heroin laying in a gutter, bleeding and faces pockmarks and eyes red and hair in patches. But when they get themselves up and clean up their diet and clean up their mind and clean up their thoughts, that a few months later you see them and their skins are glowing and their eyes are bright and their smiles are broad and their vision has expanded. How does God make all things new? I don't know, but I know darn well that he does.
Yes, sir. All praise be to Allah. It wasn't a trick question, brother. It was just dealing with our topic, brother. It was just dealing with our topic. So I had to ask you that, brother. You know,
Yes, sir.
I had to ask you that, brother. But man, all praise is due to Allah. Thank you, brother. Go ahead and tell the audience, man, Facebook and YouTube. We're actually streaming on 3 platforms: our business page, Fard Money, my personal page, and on our YouTube channel, Fard Money. Go ahead and tell the listeners, man, where they can follow your social media platforms and how they can connect with you. They want to know more about Team Freedom or anything like that.
Very good. Thank you, my dear brother. The first thing you can do, family, if you, and I want to just say this, if you heard this invitation from Brother Supreme and the members of Fard Money team, get back to the member of that team who told you about this broadcast tonight and take steps. Make that man loosen that beautiful, beautiful tie that he has on. Make him roll up his sleeves tonight and sit at the computer, putting you in the system as a new affiliate of Karatbars International. Make him do that. Secondly, if you heard about this program from me or whoever else you heard it from, get back with the person you heard about this broadcast from. They love you and cared enough about you to put you in front of something that has the potential to change your life if you want your life to change. My social media access, you can reach me on Facebook at Jamil Muhammad. That's spelled JamilMuhammad. I think it appears on the bottom of your screen as I'm speaking to you. You can go to me on Instagram at brother, BROTHER underscore Jamil, JAMIL. And we're there at Instagram as well. Or you can go on Twitter and keep up with me on Twitter. I'm trying to remember the name of my darn, it's hard because you got to put underscores and ampersands and circles and all that stuff in it. Let me see if I know who I am on here. There it is. On Twitter, you can go to me as, and it's at Brother Jamil. That's BROTHERJAMIL. Those are for all the platforms because my whole life is an integrated life. I'm not a Muslim on Tuesdays and do carrot bars on Wednesday. No, I do everything all day, every day because I'm one man, but I make a whole lot of things happen. I'm saying that to all the young, fine single sisters. Anyway, listen, no. Listen. Brother, we have an opportunity that is so great. If y'all have any questions for me, actually get in touch with us from those social media platforms. Reach out for my dear brother Supreme. He has my phone number. He knows who to give it to and who not to. But we want to make sure that we stay in touch. I want to say to Brother Kevin 2X Thompson again, thank you, brother. Thank you, Mr. Brian Battle, and the lovely Mrs. Shelby Casey Thompson for forming Team Freedom and for making me one of the original members of that organization. We still tend to push under the umbrella of Wealth Builders Worldwide. Thank you to Mr. Tyrone Best and his lovely wife, Mrs. Valerie Best. Thank you to Mr. Michael L. Delco and his lovely wife, Miss Manisha Delco. Thank you to all of those of you who stand up for this principle and make it work in the way that it works. I want to thank the first North American affiliate of Carrot Bars, Miss Cheryl Ann Gober. Miss Gober is still consistent as an assistant and helper to those who want to do well in this work. So there's so many more who could be thanked. I don't have time to thank them all, but let me thank you, Brother Supreme, for inviting me to be with you tonight. Thank you and your family. And you say your research assistant, he calls her his wife. She pulled up that Boston Globe story quick. I couldn't type that fast, sister. So you keep on helping your husband and you keep on taking care of your wife and y'all look out for each other and your beautiful family and all of the folks who are with you. I thank you, brother. I thank you so very much for letting me be a part of the program tonight. And I know that I look like a round white circle with a small head and shoulders in the middle of it when you look at the screen. But next time I'll be back without the long, beard. I got on my Santa Claus starter kit. I got the big white beard and I got the afro look like Frederick Douglass. I just can't come out showing y'all that. But next time you see me, I'm gonna be cute. I'm gonna be looking good. And I hope that I hope this won't be the last time I'll be invited to be on the Far Money program. Thank you so much, dear brother.
Yes, sir. All praise be to Allah, man. Thank you, man. It was a pleasure and an honor, man, to grace a platform in with you at the same time, simultaneously, for us to build and dialogue like we did with these truths that we have. Both of us in the ranks, following our spiritual father, helping him the best way we can, and we are just trying to help him economically because he asked for it in 1998, and we're going to end with that. And you will be invited back in the near future, brother. And we definitely would want to see your face, brother. So with
Thank
that
you
being
so
said,
much.
family, we thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate everybody for joining. Make sure you go and subscribe to the Digital Final Call. Donate to Muhammad's Economic Blueprint. The links are running at the bottom of the screen. And if you want a gold savings account, get with the person that shared it with you, or you can go to our website, forwardmoney.com, and the Forward Money representative will be with you shortly. With that being said, family, we're going to close this out with a video from the minister asking for the help, for our help, to help him economically, and he asked for 100 millionaires. Assalamu alaikum, salam, peace, That means peace be unto you. We thank everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We on Instagram, Forward Money, Twitter, Forward Money, just Forward Money, everything. And if you don't know, Forward Money only means obligatory and independent. With that being said, family, we will see y'all Saturday night for the Future of Money show with our special guest. We're coming back. We're coming back. Entrepreneur, professional network marketer, soldier in the ranks of Farrakhan of Allah, Kevin 2X will be on the Future Money Show. With that being said, family, we will see y'all then.
Peace. Satisfied. Peace. Until we have the college level on the University of Islam. And if you help me by doing what you can in the economic field, Muslims, you shouldn't be around here looking to white people to give you a job. Go look in Message to the Black Man and the Economic Blueprint, and if there are 4 of you, 6 of you, 8 of you together, pool your resources, go into business and set up business all over the south and west side of Chicago. I would like to see at least 100 millionaires among the Muslims in Chicago. If you're rich, I'm rich. And I can always come and tell you about the needs of a nation. But if you poor and we poor, hell man, we can't be around here poor. I want to see rich Muslims. And if you obey Allah, there's no reason why you can't make a business successful. You just have to get up and stop being lazy and trifling and go do something for yourself. So we're going to put together a trade delegation of Muslims and, well, everybody's a Muslim. But there are those who have not confessed Islam, but they are brilliant in business. We made promises to governments, and we're going to fulfill our promise. There's all kinds of investment opportunities. Diamonds, gold, uranium, oil. I mean, you name it, Africa is open. And the Europeans are coming in with money and they're taking Africa. Well, why can't we go? They're ready to sell gold mines to us. They're ready for us to develop gold. Well, where's Michael Jackson? Where's Shaq O'Neal? Where? We need to pull our moneyed people together and let's do some business now, because we can't build a nation on the charity of the believer. We can only build a nation on a strong economic foundation that's built on business, agriculture, agribusiness. Yes, sir.